Hey guys, mulltiy here. Long time no video. Today I want to get back to it. Interesting topic with TBC basically around the corner. We don't have an actual date at the moment. It could be somewhere in December, to be honest. It could be happening in January. It's hard for me to really predict that. I don't know how long Naxxramas is now open. But yeah, you know, could be also pre-patch, maybe middle of December or something like this, and then moving forward January, getting the actual TBC phase 1. Today I want to make a DPS tier list based on phase 1, so that means Karazhan, Magtheridon, Gruul Slayer. Maybe I will make it a little bit more detailed when we have the dates around and everything, and also complete tier list for TBC, because I guess for some people is whole TBC interesting. For some people, or let's say for a big amount of player base, is mostly phase 1 where they get into it and then they phase out basically. So today we make a DPS tier list for phase 1. Phase 1, you know, Karazhan 10-man raid, Gruul and Magtheridon 25. So let's hop into it. I put all the specs, DPS specs is correct, yep, into the D tier, and now then we will move them over where they belong. How I will start. I think it would make sense to go over it just as it here is. It's basically only sorted by the specs that they are together. So I try always to give a little bit of an insight. First of all, Rogue not having a good time is overall in TBC not the best class, not the best spec, and especially in phase 1 you will not have a lot of fun. I think Rogue maybe will let 2 specs here in the D tier. You will have a tough time. You will have a tough time finding groups for dungeons, because basically single target damage, basically you cannot tank, you cannot heal, you provide nothing that maybe other classes cannot bring, and you don't have the biggest damage. So just to make it clear, phase 1 as a rogue player will be not the funniest phase you ever had. Next one, so I let this here now in the D tier. Maybe later on I need to swap something around, we will see that. Next one is Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest is just a decent spec, especially in phase 1. Later on we will see, maybe it gets better over the next few phases. I don't want it to spoil here too much, but definitely a decent start into DPC as a Shadow Priest. Next one is Elemental Shaman and Enhancement Shaman. Basically the same here. Shaman and Priest. We have here 2 decent specs. You will not crush here any DPS meters, but in general, decent specs. Next one is Mage, and here it gets definitely already interesting. We have with Arcane Mage arguably the best spec in phase 1. Combined with some other, also depending on 10-man, 25-man, whatever. 10-man, I think definitely Arcane Mage should be the best one. Fire Mage also doing pretty well. I think I would rank them at least A tier. And then we have Frost Mage, which is basically exactly the opposite. It's one of the worst specs, and also moving forward, maybe not the best spec, but Mage has 2 good specs, so not a lot of things to complain about. Like I said, Arcane Mage arguably the best spec in phase 1, also a little bit depending on your focus on 10-man, 25. But also, let's be honest, the 25-man raids are 1 boss fight or 2 boss fights, so yeah, is it really raiding? Maybe Karazhan matters more, so yeah, hard to say, but okay. Next one, Destruction Warlock, also very good spec. In general, Warlock, pretty good placed in TBC. We have Destruction Warlock, which I would rank also S tier. We make the tiers a little bit, let's say friendly. We could also say S plus, S minus, or whatever. But let's keep it on S tier. Destruction Warlock also very good spec, 10 man, 25 man, and also Demon Warlock. I think another A tier spec. So basically kind of the same as we see with Mage, and then we have Affliction Warlock, which is definitely not that good. It's definitely a little bit lower than both, but another spec that you can definitely play in phase 1. Next one, Druid. Druid, sadly, not that good in the game. Maybe you will see more tank druids, maybe you will see more heal druids, but in general, Feral and Boomkin having a rough start. If I would rank one higher, it would be Boomkin, but in general, I would say they are just C tier at the beginning of TBC, so not that great. Next one, Warrior. And I think Warrior, there is a lot of misconception about TBC. Warrior is strong in TBC, and Warrior is strong right from the beginning. There is only one thing, as always with Warrior: you are gear dependent. What does it mean? That means if you just level, make a few quests level 70, and then you directly try to enter a raid, you will not top any DPS meter, just to make it clear. But if you get your hands on a raid weapon, maybe first raid or whatsoever, and maybe you have a little bit other drop luck here, there, heroics here and there, Warrior is one of the strongest classes directly from the beginning in TBC, and it also excels through TBC. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like anymore like in Classic, where you basically in a 40-man raid, 30 warriors, the rest is heals and 100 who pulls or whatever, and the rest is only for buffs. No, that's not what it's going on. Definitely not. It's much more competition, but Warrior is still one of the best specs. Fury Warrior, directly A tier, and like I said, if you get your hands pretty early on good weapons, on maybe a good trinket here, maybe another gear there, here and there, you will be directly from the beginning one of the best specs, especially in 10 man, to make that clear. Next one is Arms Warrior, decent B tier, not crazy, but also not bad, so pretty good. Next one, Retribution Paladin. Yeah, I mean, it's basically where you would expect it, because it's nothing special, so that means it's in the middle of the pack. But that's pretty awesome for Paladin players, because we all know Classic, Retribution Paladin, that's Fool's Gold or whatever you want to call it. It's not a lot of fun. It's pretty, you waiting for auto hits and whatever, and Judgment and so on and so on. Your seals, but okay, seal twisting, yeah, but general, not a nice gaming experience. Any TBC, that's definitely changing. Paladin is more fun to play, it is more of a class, and it's a pretty decent DPS, and you will leave other DPS players behind you, especially when you think now about Rogue, that you know super strong from Classic. So yeah. Last but definitely not least, Hunter. Hunter, another very strong class in TBC overall, and especially phase 1. We have one bad spec with Marksman. I think I can rank the maximum into the C tier. Basically, if you play Hunter, you don't play Marksman, you play Beastmaster or Survival, and I would rank them both, I think both into the S tier. Again, also here depending, 10 man, 25 man, and so on and so on. But Hunter definitely less gear dependent as Warrior. So pretty awesome class, two pretty nice specs to play. As you can see, maybe now S and A tier, we have only one real melee with Fury Warrior. Okay, then we have also the Hunters, fine, and then we have 4 caster specs, 2 Warlock, 2 Mage specs. in general, I think TBC is already, like I said, much more balanced than when you think back about Classic, or you're playing it right now, so you don't need to think back. Where basically, like I said, is all warriors. If you want to make it a perfect raid composition, all warriors besides the other ones that make some buffs. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3 rogues that take the daggers that maybe the warriors don't want, and so on and so on. So here you will see a lot of different comps. If a class makes maybe a little bit sense to stack them, it would be maybe mages. Yeah, but in general, like I said, SA, B tier, very nice specs to play. They will climb high druids in the next tiers, but again, also here it makes sense to tank with druids. Maybe warrior tank definitely also gets a hit here. So yeah, but again, warrior still strong in TBC. If you're playing warrior, if you love to play warrior, you don't need to change it. The only class that I really think is having a bad time in phase 1 is definitely rogue, especially when it comes down to group finding for heroics and so whatever. So if you're playing rogue, stay strong. You will have a tough time ahead. I hope you find groups to get your heroic gear, because also rogue gear depending gets better and better. Not as much as warriors, but still, you know how it is with melee. You hit with your weapons. Definitely your weapons, it matters a lot. That's it basically for phase 1 of TBC, Karazhan, Magtheridon lair, and Gruul's lair, and Magtheridon's champ. I don't even know what it's called. Like I said, maybe I will make a more detailed one when it. Where we are, 12 minutes. Maybe I will make a more detailed one when it comes close to the release. And like I said, what I will also do is one for all TBC, like a little bit combined, like a little bit general, to show what you can play through all TBC and what could be maybe interesting directly to play as an alt that you can maybe gear up, and then you are super good into phase 3, 4, whatever. So that's it for this video, guys. See you. Bye bye.